Hold up.
Yo, what's going on guys, it is Fox98 here and welcome back to a brand new video for you guys stay here on my channel. Today we're back with my F1 2016 Career Mode Season 4 Part 15 now for the Singapore Grand Prix. And yeah, if you guys do enjoy today's video, drop a like on it, that'd be absolutely awesome. And subscribe if you have not yet subscribed to my channel. And thank you all very much for tuning in for today's video. So, not really many topics of discussion to talk about in terms of all this practice and qualifying sessions. But I am just going to quickly say apologies for no uploads yesterday. Basically, what I decided to do yesterday is I did start a live stream on Battlefield 4. Not Battlefield 4, Battlefield 1. But unfortunately, there just wasn't really many people tuning into the stream because I don't know if many people are interested in Battlefield. But I just decided to stop streaming because there was just no point in me even trying to continue doing it. So I ended the stream and I just didn't upload. So what I decided to do then for the rest of the night is just not try and make a video, not upload or edit a video. I literally just went on and I just did a lot of recording and got as many videos ready as possible because, of course, because I didn't record at all last week, I simply just decided that the best thing to do was to just take a day off, get recording and start getting myself together because I've got university work as well that I'm trying to do at the moment, and I literally am starting to run out of time. So I thought, since I've got yesterday free, I'm just going to not upload and I'm just going to record some videos so I actually have content on my channel throughout the time. So that's that out of the way. And in terms of F1 news, there really isn't much in terms to talk about. Of course, we know that Paddy Lowe has left Mercedes-Benz now after 3 years, I believe, at the team. He's now left, and I believe he has now gone to Williams, unless that is gone. I'm not quite sure. And also Renault's team boss, I don't really know how to pronounce his name. It's like Vazier or something like that. He has also left his role at Renault, so of course that is kind of a big one as well for Renault. So two big bosses leaving their stations in their teams. And also ex-Haas driver Esteban Gutierrez has now gone and joined Formula E, which is the electronic version of Formula 1. It's like Scalextrics, really, which is boring. This actually provides a good racing. I'm lying there. But yeah, just those three things, basically. Paddy Lowe has left Mercedes, Vasseur has left his role as the team boss, and Gutierrez has joined Formula E. So that's all to talk about in there. But let's talk about the Singapore Grand Prix then. So, into qualifying we go, and you can see that we were slower than Sebastian Vettel by 0.3 of a second, but we were on the super soft tyres, whereas Vettel was on the ultra soft tyres. Now, for this Grand Prix weekend, things were looking good for myself. I felt comfortable, I felt good, and I felt really strong in the heat of things. So I was looking very comfortable and confident going into this Grand Prix. Into Q2 we go. Nicely done there, beating Sebastian Vettel. Hamilton is the only person to qualify on the super soft tyres, which means he will start on those for the race, which is a very interesting call there from Mercedes-Benz. And it'll be interesting to see if those tyres work out for him with the two Red Bulls beating Mercedes, in fact, in Q2, which was pretty interesting. And your picture hasn't frozen. It was literally, I was just on my phone waiting to skip forward. So I will eventually show you the full classification of Q2 when I actually get bothered to do it, but I was literally on my phone and I fast forwarded it and I never realised that the qualifying had ended. There you go. See, look, I suddenly had some eyes and looked where I was going. Yeah, that's really interesting. Into Q3 we go then. Lewis Hamilton's got the fastest lap, but that is quickly beaten by Sebastian Vettel, but we are going to come across the line and absolutely batter Vettel's time and come through and set the fastest lap of Q3, and that is going to give us pole position for the Singapore Grand Prix. Now, a lot of people do ask the same question of how on earth do you get pole position all the time, but sometimes you seem to struggle in races. Now, I can say it straight up, I'm a better driver fastest. So when I get onto a brand new set of tyres, I'm the quickest out of everybody. I'm not very good at endurance at the moment, whereas I'm much better at one lap pace. So at the moment, these qualifying sessions, I'm probably good at be starting quite high up on the grid because I've got the one lap pace over everybody else. But in terms of like the races, we definitely need to work on the endurance system and getting the tyres, the distances and everything. But that is it for qualifying, guys. We have managed to get pole position. As you saw before, my new rival is now Lewis Hamilton. But that is it for qualifying and practice. So let's get into the main event, which of course is the Singapore Grand Prix.
We're almost ready to go then, and this is what the starting grid looks like for today's race. It's Ferrari in pole position then, and starting alongside in P2 is Sebastian Vettel. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Hamilton, Nico Rosberg, and Perez, Massa, Kvyat, Ricciardo, and Fernando Alonso, Hülkenberg, Button, Esteban Gutierrez, and Sainz, Magnussen, Grosjean, Pascal Wehrlein, and Felipe Nasser, Palmer and Bottas, Rio Haryanto, and Marcus Ericsson rounds off the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track.
Alright then guys, as you can see, we're on the grid now for the Singapore Grand Prix, and we're going to be doing a two-stop for this race. We're going to be starting on the Ultra Softs, and then moving over to the Super Softs, starting on the Ultra Softs, then moving to the Super Softs, and then going on to another set of Ultra Softs. But as you can see, I decided to see if there was a way I could potentially put the the Super Soft tyre in the middle stint, then potentially go on another little blast of the Ultra Soft tyres towards the end of the race. But it seemed like the strategy, it would just mean that I would be like 3-4 seconds slower, which technically isn't that bad. But I just decided then to revert to the normal strategy and just go with the flow, because the only driver that's out of sync at the moment is Lewis Hamilton, who's doing something different. As you can see, as I always do, I do recommend it for you guys as well. I am going to fuel the car lighter, so it means that I will have to save a little bit of fuel, but not that much. You can see I'm just checking everything again. I just really wanted to see, can I make this strategy work? So because I had to do this twice, because I was in this loading screen, and my recording failed, so then I had to quit the race quickly and then come back. So I was like, whoa, will it work? Because I had a different timesheet, which was quite weird. But anyway, moving on then into this formation lap, then you can see we are now going to be off. We've got a Ferrari front row with Verstappen showing some good pace here for the Red Bull, who is still not fast as a Ferrari, and I did corner cut on formation lap, lol. But as you can see here, we're on the grid now. We've got 4, now 5 red lights for the Singapore Grand Prix, and we are lights out. There we go for the Singapore Grand Prix. It's a nice start from us this time. Didn't get bogged down on like the last race, but it's again, Vettel has lost out again at the start of a Grand Prix. Sebastian Vettel doesn't know how to dump the darn clutch, for God's sake. He has dropped down the order. My teammate has fallen back. Myself and Verstappen have got some clean starts. Vettel is being absolutely swamped in the background by the Mercedes driver of Nico Rosberg. Yeah, Vettel and Rosberg going alongside here, as I have had a nice clean start. Verstappen is still behind me though, as we come through the back straight here, and coming through. Always nice for us. Vettel now being swamped by both Hamilton and Rosberg here. So Vettel has had an awful start, and Lewis Hamilton is on the super soft tyres, and he has made his way past Sebastian Vettel for this Singapore Grand Prix. So Vettel down to 4th place now, which is absolutely shocking. Moving all the way to lap 8 of the Grand Prix. Again, the first stints don't really tend to show much. Of course, the first stints were normally very, very active. But ever since I found out that fueling the car lighter definitely gives you a lot more speed, I kind of haven't been hit any troubles. So we're going to be coming straight into the pits for the first stop here on lap 8 of the Grand Prix. Verstappen has followed me in. Lewis Hamilton has carried on, of course, on the super soft tyres. He'll probably pit around about lap 16, lap 17, which I then found out at this point here is actually quite a big worry. Hamilton is now currently in front of me, and he's going to keep going on, and I'm going to close the gap, and then Hamilton's going to pit. Hamilton is either going to go on to a set of ultra soft tyres and do super soft, ultra soft, or he's going to do super soft and then soft, which means that he's actually maybe doing a potential one stop in this Grand Prix, which means that I'm actually on the quicker strategy in terms of I'm using faster compounds of tyres than Lewis, but he is going to potentially, he could do a one stop, which means that he's going to save himself 30 seconds or so from a pit stop, which is actually pretty big, which means I've really got to get the hammer down. I thought at this point, I was like, right, hang on a minute. I need to think about Hamilton, because my main threat has been Max Verstappen. As you can see me coming out of the pits, we're going to go down the inside of Danny Kvyat, and we do that nice and perfect there, giving him as much room as possible. He does run wide and hit the wall, but that's not my fault. But now I was thinking at this point, Verstappen is not my main rival in this Grand Prix. It's actually Lewis Hamilton who's the biggest threat for the race win here. So as you can see now, we're catching up to Jenson Button here through the turn 11. Into turn 12 we go. Down the inside, Button gives us plenty of space. No contact there as we come across the bridge now. Gutierrez is in front and myself is behind here with Jenson Button a little bit further back. So this is now where I'm thinking to myself, what do I do in this race? How do I cover off Hamilton? Now the problem is, I actually can't cover off Hamilton, surprisingly enough, because I've made that pit stop. So now, literally, I've got to stick to the strategy. I didn't think of it to start with. I was like, Hamilton's going to do super soft, ultra soft, or something like that. But then I realised that, you know, Hamilton actually could do something, and it's thrown me completely out the window. But we're just going to have to keep on pushing here. We're going through this back markers very, very quickly. Max Verstappen stuck behind him a little bit here. We've got Gutierrez. We're going to go for a super duper dive bomb down the inside. So we were in the track limits there, and we were just about there as well, even though we did cut away turn 2. But I thought you guys would like a little bit of a super duper uber duper dive bomb, so I thought I'd do one for you guys, because, you know, I got your back with the dive bombs. I got your back. Anyway, we're up into 3rd place now, and next up the road is Nico Hülkenberg, who in fact on lap 11 we've now closed up to, so you can see how long these super soft tyres lasting. They can last about half a Grand Prix, really. They can last about 15, 16 laps, which is kind of big. So yeah, we can go. We're trying to push on past Nico Hülkenberg here. Second to last corner, I close up nice and quickly onto Hülkenberg, and as we come through, cut back here, DRS is wide open, and we're going to move over to the inside line of the circuit here, and we're going to exit this move on Nico Hülkenberg down the inside into turn 1. A lot less dive bomby than Gutierrez, but it was still quite nice. And down the inside, up into second place, and you can see Hamilton still leads this race on the super soft tyres, so he's still doing quite nicely there for his Mercedes, and he is still going. And we need to keep pushing onwards. We now need to unleash the power of this Ferrari. So as you can see on to lap 15 of the Grand Prix, Hamilton has pitted for soft tyres. You can see it on the top of your screens. It is me from Verstappen from Hamilton, but Bottas is out of the Singapore Grand Prix. So he is the first casualty of this race, and we're going to find out why. So he's on the soft tyres as well here. And you can see he's in the midst of the Saubers, weirdly enough. And unfortunately, his engine is blown up. His car has exploded, giving up the ghost, and that is that. And that actually caused a virtual safety car, and I decided to push on with it. But Hamilton has pitted for softs. Hamilton is doing a one-stop. We can fully confirm that now. I didn't know what he was doing. Now I know he's doing a one-stop, which has triggered me. I'm triggered right now. I now need to really crack on, get some absolutely blistering lap times in, and when I make this pit stop, Hamilton will be in front of me. No matter what I do, Hamilton will rejoin in front of me. Now, I'm going to be pitting onto super soft tyres, which can last half a Grand Prix, like I said before. So Hamilton came in about lap 15, for end of 14, start of 15. So he did 14 to 15 laps, say. Now, we're on lap 18 here, which means we've got about 13 laps, I believe, to go at this Grand Prix. 13, 14 laps, give or take. There goes Hamilton on your screens there, which means we now need to get the hammer down and close the 10-second gap that it was to lose. It's about 13 seconds. I don't really know the full gap. But Hamilton has now got a very comfortable lead out front, and he's actually executing a very nice strategy. But we're on the faster compound of tyres. We're in a faster car than Lewis Hamilton, so we now need to just literally stop talking, get our heads down, focus, and get on with it. So we put the car into lean for some dumb reason. But onto lap 20 of the Grand Prix now. We are continuing onwards in this adventurous of attacking Lewis Hamilton. We are closing in on Hamilton at a vast rate of knots. But unfortunately, Rio Haryanto is a new casualty to the retirements list, and we're going to go find out why. So as you can see here, Rio Haryanto coming through the tunnel, and then afterwards his engine just explodes, and kind of the same as Valtteri Bottas, really. His engine just blew up and just gave up the ghost, and that's unfortunate for Haryanto, as he was doing pretty well in this Grand Prix. And further on into the Grand Prix, Sergio Perez is now out of the race, so the gap between Hamilton and me drops to 6.4, so we're really cutting the gap between myself and Hamilton. But let's look at Perez before we get all excited here. Perez's engine just explodes, and that's really unfortunate for Perez. Another engine explosion. That's the third one of this Grand Prix. So a lot of people are having engine failures, which is kind of annoying. On to lap 24 of the Grand Prix. I'm just going to shut up for a second. I'm going to let you hear something a second.
Engine is looking a little worn. Power output will be less than optimal.
Literally every single Grand Prix I take part in, my bloody engine wears down. The gap was 4.2 between me and Hamilton, and now it's going up. But Rosberg and Grosjean were out of this Grand Prix. So as you can see here, Rosberg goes from the inside and he's crashed into Grosjean, and Rosberg and Grosjean have had a massive crash here, and then Rosberg comes back on the circuit, Massa comes through, and there's a triple crash here. All three of these drivers are out of the Singapore Grand Prix. So Rosberg tries to go on the inside, and he just turns in on Grosjean there. And as you can see, Rosberg actually survives that incident, and then he's going to get a whack up the arse here from Massa, who actually takes out Rosberg. Looking on board with Massa's perspective here, Massa's got the super soft tyres on, and Rosberg and Grosjean are further up. They've just gone through that corner here. So there they are. They've crashed in the front there. Massa brakes to try and get through. Then Massa tries to find some way to get through, and Rosberg takes out both of his wheels there. And that's unfortunate. And we've got a safety car now. And also, Gutierrez and Kvyat retired from this Grand Prix. But I never spotted that during the thing, so I don't have a clip about how they retired. But this is kind of a bit of a strange situation. So, we've got the safety car coming in this lap. We've got the chance to overtake Lewis Hamilton. But remember, I've got a power deployment issue. I've got engine problems. So, can I catch and pass? Can I dive bomb Hamilton into turn 1? Is this going to work? We're going to have to find out, but the race is back underway here. Hamilton's had a very nice exit of the second to last and final corner here. As we try and get on the power here, you can see how much lack of power I've got coming down the back straight here. Max Verstappen might try into turn 1. I'm going to go for it on Hamilton, but I'm way too far back. I tried something really audacious to try and get in front of Hamilton, but I couldn't do it. And unfortunately, Hamilton in that Mercedes car is going to be a lot quicker in mine with an engine problem in mine. Every single Grand Prix, I have engine engine deployment problems. If you guys have got a career mode with Ferrari and you've got engine deployment issues, please tell me what the hell is going on and why can I not do anything about it. But Max Verstappen here is getting very hungry here. He wants to snatch second place down the back straight. Fortunately, it's not enough to get Verstappen in front, but we've now got to really think about what we can do. Hamilton is just there. He's just in front of us as I actually make contact with the wall there, which isn't exactly going to help my issues any further. I did damage a little bit of my front wing with that contact with the wall, but Hamilton has just shot off into the distance. I'm now having to struggle here. Verstappen goes for a move on us. Will he make it sick? Will he defend round the outside of turn 11 here? And Verstappen has to stay back for a little longer, but it seems like my second place is now under threat really in this Grand Prix. I was able to maintain a little bit of a margin between Verstappen and Hamilton, because it was 4.2 between me. It was about 4.5 seconds between me and Hamilton before the safety car, and it was about 4.5 seconds between me and Verstappen before the safety car came out. But you can clearly see how I've literally got no pace in this final part of the race. So Verstappen here tries it again here. I'm going to have to defend to the outside once again. Verstappen's clearly on the inside. I'm going to give him plenty of room, and Verstappen has to sit back for a bit longer. Unfortunately, you can just see how much low, I've got no pace. Literally, I have nothing in this Grand Prix at the moment. Hamilton is shooting off into the distance right now, and this is really just frustrating me at this moment in time, because I'm just sitting here like, my opportunity to attack Hamilton has completely gone out the window because my stupid engine doesn't know how to function for an entire Grand Prix. So as you can see here, Hamilton's got about a 2-second lead already after just one lap of the safety car restart. But we're here for the final lap of the Singapore Grand Prix, and it's about surviving really. Can we not only get this wounded car, which just seems to be for every damn Grand Prix that I say, can we get this thing to the end of the Grand Prix? And can we hold off the attack from Verstappen? I believe Perez is behind, and even my teammate Vettel might get in on the act here. But as you can see, coming down the back straight here, Verstappen is again close to us. He's actually going to go alongside us this time. We're going to defend the inside line here. Can Verstappen make the move stick? No, he can't. Verstappen just couldn't quite get the move stuck there, and we stay in front of Verstappen for a little bit longer as he's got a Force India behind. Actually, no, Perez is out of the race, so that's Hulkenberg behind. And then Vettel, but you can see here how I'm just trying to get this car towards the end. Hamilton has gone off. You can see the tyres aren't actually that bad. They are pretty worn out, I'm not going to lie, but it's not the tyres that the issue here. It's just the amount of power that I've got. I just seem to be extremely, extremely slow, and I don't know what's going on. So as you can see here, we're now just going to literally follow on board for the final part of this Grand Prix, coming through the tunnel-like bridge section. It's not a tunnel at all. But as you can see, Verstappen is very close to us, and I'm super wary right now. Coming down this back straight here, will Verstappen make a move? Unfortunately, or fortunately, sorry for myself, he will not make a maneuver. Hamilton already 3.3 seconds up the road, and Verstappen's got a great exit though, but it's not going to help him out. But like I said before, Hamilton's 3.3 seconds up the road. That just proves how much lack of pace I've got right now. You can see here breaking into this tunnel section. You can see Verstappen has to sit back for a little bit longer as he's now running out of time to make the move stick here into the chicane part, into the final chicane really. And that's going to sum it up pretty much for the Singapore Grand Prix. We are going to hold off Max Verstappen, but we are literally holding a train right now. Lewis Hamilton comes through, and after back-to-back DNFs for Lewis Hamilton, he comes through and he wins the Singapore Grand Prix. Myself is going to take second place in this Grand Prix ahead of Verstappen, Hulkenberg, Vettel, and I believe Amana got 6th in this Grand Prix, and I believe Pascal Wehrlein actually genuinely just got 6th place in this Grand Prix. I'm going to have to check the classification afterwards, but yeah, I mean, overall in the Grand Prix, Hamilton just executed a perfect strategy. Like, he was on the super soft tyres, yeah, and then he made the one stop onto softs, and he just got them to the end of the race. Like, no, I honestly can't complain. Now, for some reason, this cinematic cutscene just carried on for ages, and I don't know why, but yeah, I can't complain about it. Hamilton executed an absolutely fantastic strategy for Mercedes-Benz, and after 2 DNFs in a row, he's really, he's come back in the Singapore Grand Prix. It's 81 points was the gap. The gap will be reduced to 74 points in the driver standings, but he's come through. Now we've got a duplicate Vettel, so we've got one there, and we've got one in the background behind Vettel, so we've got 2 Vettels, so Vettel has duplicated himself, the duplication glitch. But yeah, overall, really, like, I had good pace in the first stint, of course, because I was never challenged. In the second stint, again, I was never challenged, I was just on my own. And then in the final stint, I was like, right, this is where it's going to get fun, the viewers are going to love this, I'm going to put the power down, I'm going to chase after Hamilton, and I'm going to beat him, and I'm going to win the race. And then all of a sudden, I had an engine problem, and I was like, I can't be arsed anymore. That was literally it. I just can't be asked. So there's nothing we can do about it. But at the end of the day, in terms of the driver's standings, most importantly, getting a second place in a podium is very, very good. Very, very strong for the championship aspiration. So it was Pascal Wehrlein. He did get in the points, but it wasn't 6th place like I thought it was. So yeah, a lot of DNFs though. We had 14 finishers in this Grand Prix. Loads of people retired from this Grand Prix. That's going to be the title. So many DNFs. So Vettel got 6, so Pascal Wehrlein got 8th. In the driver's standings, the gap has been reduced to 74 points, like I first said, which is okay for us, I suppose. I mean, getting those consistent podiums now to the end of the season will guarantee us the driver's championship. So we just need to keep doing what we're doing. So I'll take 2nd place in honesty. In the constructor standings, we increase our lead over Mercedes-Benz thanks to my 2nd place and Vettel's 5th place. Actually, no, we do we increase our lead? I can't do... Yeah, we do. We increase the lead by 3 points over Mercedes-Benz. So we're still getting closer to clinching the constructors standings. But the constructors is going to be a lot harder to win at the moment in time. So we need to focus on that one a lot more. So... guys, that's going to be it for the Singapore Grand Prix. We're going to be continuing to save our resource points as I'd like to make another engine upgrade in order to maybe help the engine out. I don't know, like, I'm trying to think of ways to fix the engine, but yeah, that is going to be it for the Grand Prix. If you have enjoyed it, don't forget to leave that like button, it's absolutely awesome. Subscribe if you're new around here as well, and I will see you guys next for what I believe is the Malaysian Grand Prix, so I'll see you guys then. Take care all, peace.